The next, Kazakhstan. So you did not know Kazakhstan is a country in Asia. It is a Central Asian country, and this is the projected birth rate for each ethnic group. According to this, yep, according to this, whites will have the highest birth rate by race or ethnic group. This is, even though this is according to the CDC. The CDC, which goes in line with what's happened in Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan is a country in Central Asia, blah, blah, blah. We already know that. But Kazakhs were the minority in Kazakhstan, okay, for decades upon decades because of Russians. Russians were the main ethnic group in Kazakhstan because of the Soviet Union making Russians move to Kazakhstan, and Kazakhs, the main ethnic group of Kazakhstan, were a minority in Kazakhstan. They were a minority in Kazakhstan until the 90s. Until the 90s, Kazakhs were a minority in Kazakhstan. They were a minority ethnicity in Kazakhstan. Okay, now they make up around 70% of Kazakhstan population. Meanwhile, Russians still make up around a declining 18% of the population. So we have this one here of fertility rates for race and ethnic group. White birth rates are expected to increase to 2, to above replacement rate, which is 2. Actually, it's 2.1. It needs to be 2.1. But Hispanic birth rate is expected to decline. The non-Hispanic, Black, and non-Hispanic Asian birth rates are expected to plummet, like it already has been. In, for example, in Mexico, Mexico's birth rate has drastically dropped. This is the fertility rates by race. Hispanic birth rate has plummeted. They have plummeted in the birth rate. Okay. Most of the Hispanic birth rate in America is now going to be facing what every other race is going to face as well. And it is going to start declining as well. Just like how it is in Mexico. Just like how it is in Mexico's birth rate, as we all know, if you have not followed this channel, is going to fall below replacement rate. Let's get back to the graph wheel here. Yeah, but yeah. If you look at Mexico's birth rate is supposed to fall below replacement rate by 2050. Which is going to be the Hispanic birth rate, which means whites are going to overtake Hispanics in birth rate, which the lowest birth rate for any group in America are Native American Indians. They're the lowest birth rate. But if you look at Kazakhstan, Kazakhs had a very high birth rate. They still do have a very high birth rate. Muslim Kazakhs especially have a very, very high birth rate. In the country of Kazakhstan, they have a very, very high birth rate in Kazakhstan. As well, look at the total fertility rate of Kazakhstan as well. And most of the areas with mostly Kazakhs have a very high birth rate. Very, very high birth rate with mostly Kazakhs and Central Asians, people from Central Asian countries. Well, most of these areas, these rural Kazakhstan, these mostly Kazakh areas, have a very high birth rate. And Kazakhstan's birth rate has gone up dramatically over the decades. Okay, Kazakh's birth rates were always around 2 to 3. Okay, Uzbek is around 2 to 3. It's mostly the Russian and Ukrainians have very low birth rates. Mostly the Russians and Ukrainians have very low birth rates. Okay, this is the map that is expected according to the CDC. Even the CDC is projecting, because this is very true. Races that fear, a group of people who fear being gone, are going to increase the birth rate dramatically. You see this in Kazakhstan. People in Kazakhs had a way higher birth rate than Russians, which had 2.2 birth rate. Meanwhile, Kazakhs had 2.3, 3.5. But because of the mass immigration from Russia, well, you know, which is also very similar here. And also, let's not forget that among whites, the people having the babies are religious people. The atheists are not, and that's going to be the major shift in whites in America. The major shift is the religious people are going to become the majority of whites in America. It'll be the same. It's the reason why Hispanic birth rates are so high in America. Okay, why Hispanic birth rates are so high in America, because a lot of Hispanics are very religious, and religious people tend to have more babies. And now we're starting to see the Hispanic birth rate fall in America. The birth rate in Latin America is going to fall and start collapsing in 2050. We're going to probably see the end of mass immigration once the Republicans take full power in the country. Which, yeah, Hispanic birth rates are already going to fall below replacement rates. I think they already have in this graph, but they have already fallen below replacement rate. Meanwhile, whites, because of religion, because of the end of Roe, because of the rise in white Christian nationalism, you're going to see a massive rate. And you also see this, the birth rate of Hispanic teens have fallen below the national average as well, which, as well for all, had fallen below all women, and now all teens, it has fallen as well. Hispanic population growth has leveled since the Great Recession. It has leveled. Okay, it is at 2.0, and it might even fall. Actually, I think it has increased because of Joe Biden's invasion. But, yeah. And you can see here that the sale of immigrant births have also declined. The sale of immigrant births are declining. And driven by a birth rate decline among Mexican women, which also mirrors a decline of birth rates in Mexico as a whole. This is the birth rate of Mexico. It has been falling. Basically, in Mexico, birth rates have been falling in the actual country itself, and also with Mexican population in America, the growth rate has actually stagnated. It actually has even started declining in America. It has been starting to decline in America, and the fertility rate in Mexico is around 2.050. And actually, by 2100, Mexico is actually expected to have a lower birth rate than America. It's expected to have a lower birth rate than America by 2100. Mexico is expected to have a lower birth rate than the world. It's expected to have a lower birth rate. This is our NEO. U.S. foreign-born and U.S.-born Hispanics have having a big drop in birth rates. Hispanics are expected to fall, are actually lower among birth rates now, or on parallel with whites in America. And I think they'll actually now below blacks in America. This is among foreign-born as well. Whites, foreign-born babies have gone up. U.S.-born babies have stayed the same for whites. Blacks has declined, and Asians has stayed the same. But Hispanics are the ones that are declining in birth rates. So, yeah. So, that means, because most likely the Republicans are going to win, and they're going to shut down the border, and most likely put border control to secure the border, because it's most likely the Republicans are going to win in the midterms and in 2024. So this projection, again, it actually has already hit this way earlier, and people had enough of this. People had enough of the border crisis. People have enough of the invasion. People want America to stay America. People want America to not become invaded, because that's what the border crisis is. It's an invasion, and people are getting sick of the invasion. People are sick of the border invasion that Joe Biden has done absolutely nothing being here. And people say that's going to be a bad thing. Oh, no immigrants. Population is going to decline. But America is full. America has 340 million people. You're having a housing crisis because America has too many people as well. America does have too many people. I think America has too many people. I think America's population should be around 250, 260 billion yen, and then we so decline to around 250, 260 billion, and of course, the religious can bring back the birth rate back to a normal one. Okay, but yeah, the Hispanic population in America is birth rates are declining. The birth rates are declining in the America as well. So, as to say, it's going down with the drop with Latin America's birth rates. It's going up the drop of Latin America's birth rates. Here, as well, Mexico's birth rate is now below average. You have this map here. This is the increase of Latter-day Saints and Amish throughout the country. These people are going to become the majority of people in America. Amish and Latter-day Saints. These are going to be the people that are going to take over America. Latter-day Saints is going to be the most, and the Amish, which are going behind, they'll be behind the increase in white birth rates in the future, are most going to be behind, and also the Mennonites as well. High birth rate group people, they're only going to take over the state of Idaho. I wasn't going to pause this GIF, but you can see this GIF here. You could see as slowly the Mormons and the old order Amish take over America. The Amish are going to take over the Midwest, New York, and you're going to be seeing safe red Illinois. You're going to be seeing a safe red Illinois. You're going to be seeing a safe red, Nevada. California is going to stop becoming a red state again because of the Latter-day Saints. The Church of Latter-day Saints is going to take over the West. It's going to take over the West, and the Amish is going to take over the Midwest. It's going to take over the, it's going to start. They're going to start taking over the Northeast. And you're also going to start to see like Texas. They're going to start expanding into Texas. The Latter-day Saints. They're going to start, and Latter-day Saints could be America's first or second largest religion by 2100. As well. Well, and this was made in 2020. The old order Amish are expected to be a majority in the Midwest. Are expected to be a majority in the Midwest by 2100, 2120. And the Amish are expected to become the majority in America. The Amish and the Mormons are going to take over America. They're going to take over America as well. And that's why the Amish, I think, are the future of the America. I think the Mormons are the future, because those are the people in America that are having babies now, because everybody else will not. Okay, you're going to see a lot of, you see the fall of the birth rates of every group besides the Amish, besides the Mormons. You see a fall of birth rates of Mormons, but even then, the Mormons still have a way higher birth rate. Still have a way higher birth rate than the rest of America. They still have a way higher birth rate. The only reason Utah's birth rate is only 2 is because of Salt Lake, because there's a lot of non-Mormons moving to Utah, a lot of non-Mormons, but Mormons still have the highest birth rate in all of the country. They still have the highest birth rate in all of the country, and most of the country. The Amish as well, which make up a small group, and the Mennonites as well. Mennonites are another religious group in America that have a very high birth rate as well. They're also going to basically become on par with, and even in places like Texas, where they say, so people are so worried about, but this is the Amish projected. There'll be counties in Texas that'll be 50% Amish, because the Amish are going to take over America. The Mormons are going to become a supermajority in Idaho and Utah, and they're also going to be starting to take over California as well. So you can see a more conservative America further down the line. You're always starting to see the Mormon takeover of America. You're going to start to see the Amish take over America. You're going to see the Mormon and Amish take over the United States of America. As projected, I think that's going to be the future of America, because the Amish population growth, okay, The Amish is growing rapidly in most states, except for Texas and Colorado. But the Amish is expected to increase massively in the country. Amish are only a small group of people in America right now, but they're expected to increase in population. Okay. Increase in population, So yeah, you're going to see a revival. You're going to see a revival of. You're going to see something that is America's gonna be a really different country than it is now. Because America, you have promotion of woke values, woke ideals, woke ideology in America. But in 2100, America's gonna be a Christian nationalist Christian nationalist state. It's gonna become a Christian nationalist state. You can see this. And I think you're gonna even start seeing by 2200, the Mormons are gonna start taking over Mexico as well. And by 2300, you might see Mexico be a Mormon majority country. You're also seeing Mennonites, with another extreme religious group, as well. You see the Amish have extremely high birth rates in the country of America. Mennonites are becoming a large, which Mennonites are Catholic. I think they're are also related to the Amish as well. Yeah, as well. You can see Mennonites become a large group of Americans. You can see Amish, the Old Order Amish, and Amish people as a whole take over America, take over the country, take over America in the future. This is the future projections of America. And you're going to see a lot of these people who come, to America. They're going to go back because they're not going to want to be in a country that's mostly Amish and mostly Latter-day Saints as well. And there's only one country that's majority Latter-day Saints. I think that's Samoa. Samoa is the only Latter-day Saints majority country. Also going to start seeing the Latter-day Saints start to take over Canada as well. And Mexico as well. Which I think, they're going to become the first or second largest religion in America. You're going to see the Old Order Amish become the most influential group in the Midwest. I think the only place where liberals might still stand a chance is the Northeast. But you're going to see a rise in Southern religion, Southern traditional values, a rise in the birth rate in the South. And I think the data that the CDC is pointing out about the birth rates among ethnicities are pretty accurate of the future of each ethnicity in America, because the largest producing groups in America, the largest reproducing groups here, I'm going to find that CDC map again. The projected total fertility rate of America, where is it? Yeah, it's one of these ones. Not this one. Yeah, it's related to this one. The Hispanic birth rate is going up. The white birth rate is only 1.75 because, of course, the woke do not want to have babies. I think it's the woke in every ethnicity group is the reason why you see a decline in every birth rate in every ethnicity in America. You're going to see a massive decline because of the woke, because of atheists, because atheists do not have kids. You're going to see the end of atheists. You're going to see the end of atheism in America because atheists do not have kids. That's simple as that. You see the end of atheism in America. You can see the end of atheism in America. Here it is. Okay, and this birth rate increase is mostly because of Amish, mostly because of Mennonites, and mostly because of the Church of Latter-day Saints. Okay, they're going to take over America in the future. The Amish is going to be responsible for mostly this group. Mennonites, Southern Baptists as well. Christian nationalists. Christians are going to cause the increase of this. I think this is going to be much higher than the CDC projects it as well. Meanwhile, the Hispanic birth rate, alongside of Mexico's birth rate, is going to decline. I think you might see a black birth rate boo, but because of what's happening in the black community, I think that black percentage of the population is going to stay the same. Asian percentage of the population, I think, is going to stay the same. I think that the future demographics of America are going to shock people, are going to shock the media, the projections as well, and it's going to, what the media is saying is not set in stone. It's not set in stone. As we all know, birth rates change over time. But I think that, the Hispanic demographics is declining alongside with Mexico's, decline in birth rate, Mexico's decline in birth rate. As we all know, Mexico's fertility rate is currently only 2.05, which is also in line with the current Hispanic birth rate in America as well. And it's going to decline alongside with Mexico's birth rate. Meanwhile, the Amish, the Mennonites, and the Christians are going to increase the birth rate, the white birth rate, to really high numbers because the Amish have a very high birth rate. Mormons, the birth rate's around 3. It has declined a bit, but birth rate's around 3. Also, Mennonites have a very high birth rate as well, around 4 to 5 kids per Mennonite, I think, which is around the same as the Amish as well. Which, the Amish as well, the most conservative group of Americans. The most conservative group of Americans as well. As well as Mormons. The two most conservative groups of Americans are going to become the majority of Americans in 2100 as well. As you see Latin America's birth rate collapse, you're going to see Latin Americans in America and descendants of Latin Americans in America come back to Latin America as well as we see the end of multiculturalism. We see the end of multiculturalism in America. We're going to see a uniculturalism in America. There are still going to be Hispanics in America, obviously. They're still good. But a lot of them are going to say are the ones that love America, the patriots, the ones who vote Republican, the ones who trended Republican. These people are going to say in America. And they're going to become they're still going to be around like 12 to 15% of the population, mostly concentrated in California, Texas, and some of the cities in America as well. But you're going to see them become like the Tizanos, and the Tizanos are mostly act like the rest of America. Tizanos mostly act like the rest of America, but their birth rates are not going to be too high. Which you're going to see a start of decline in them, unless the birth rates go up. But you're going to see a massive birth rate increase, mostly because the Amish and religious people, which have a birth rate of 2.1, which is much higher than the atheist birth rate, which, as well, and the woke leftist birth rate, which you're going to see a conservative America, because birth rates are the destiny of America. Birth rates are the destiny of America. Who are having the kids? Who will be having the kids of the future? It will be the religious right. It will be the religious Republican right. It will be the Mormons. It will be the Mennonites. It will be the Amish. It will be the Southern Baptists as well. Especially the completely devoted Southern Baptists. A lot of people that are having the kids are those types of people, the religious people as well. And those people are going to take control of America in the future as well. You always see a decline in the Hispanic birth rate, mostly, which is on par with the decline of Mexico's birth rate. So actually, and the same thing with, for example, this is Arizona's birth rate. Birth rates are sweepingly dropping everywhere. Latin America's birth rate and population, and this is just the facts here. I'm just saying the facts here. Latin America's birth rate and Latin America's demographic decline is going to start in 2050. Latin America is going to start to having a demographic decline in 2050, starting in 2050. Latin America, Africa's birth rate is going to drastically decline. It's actually a good thing for the world, because Africa's, if you talk about overpopulation, Africa, having too many people is a bad thing, because there's still scarce resources in the world. And Africa constantly having a 6, birth rate. I think Africa's birth rate will start to level out to around 2 to 2.2 to 2.3 as well. In Africa as well. But you see, birth rates decline in the world. You see a birth rate decline in Mexico as well. You see a birth rate decline and the people who are expected to have the highest birth rates in the world in America, that are expected to be the future of America as well, are going to be the Amish, are going to be the Mennonites, and the Mormons. Okay? those people are going to have the highest birth rate. The religious right are going to have the highest birth rates because Utah has consistently had one of the highest birth rates in America. Nebraska has a pretty high birth rate, which I'm surprised by that one. But you're going to see a America that is far different from the pundits in the media are saying that America is going to have. Okay? Yeah. I don't know what this one is, but yeah. And atheists have the lowest birth rate in the world. This is smaller as it's, Muslim. I'm so, according to this, Muslims only have a birth rate of 1 in America. That's, I don't know where they're getting this data from, but yeah, Muslims don't have a birth rate of 1 kid per person in America as well. They don't have a birth rate of 1 kid per person as well. But yeah, as well. And the atheist and nothing in particular birth rate is going to start declining in America and then worldwide. Atheists are not the future of the world. Are not the future of the world. I think further proof of this is the near-death experiences is becoming commonplace in America. Near-death experiences which, of course, are going to be researched here. I don't know what this is, but according to this, Muslims are rising. I don't know, well, they're talking about Europe or America in this one. Yeah, but apparently Muslims have a birth rate of only 1 in America. Apparently Muslims have a really low birth rate in America. Yeah. But if you look at what's happening to America, you see that there's what's after the Great Depression coming out of the quarter, which is going to kill our was it not no, I'm not gonna say kill. It's going to just kill the Democratic Party. Their chances in the future are done as well. The chances of becoming the majority party are done. As you all know, look at the trends of what happens in recessions. The opposition always wins, okay? Great Depression, FDR won, okay? The 80s depression, Reagan won. The 2008 recession, Obama won. It's gonna be the same thing with the 2023 Great Recession, Trump, or DeSantis, whoever wins. It's gonna be most likely Trump, but if Trump wins again, he's probably gonna win because Biden is gonna be considered. And yeah, by 2100, Biden's gonna be the most laughed at president and most hated president in the world. So yeah, we're starting to see a new civilization rise out of the decline of the American Empire. We're starting to see a new civilization rise out of America. See a new civilization rise out of America, a Christian America, a rise of a Christian, Amish, Mennonite majority America as well. And yeah, you're seeing the decline in the Hispanic birth rates, especially among Hispanic teens. You're starting to see a Hispanic birth rate, which is below replacement rate in America, is below replacement rate here. Oh, actually, this is the Hispanic growth. I thought that was Hispanic birth rate, but Hispanic birth rates are now going to start become below birth rates, and have actually been around. Actually, going to be around the same as the Black birth rate in America. And yeah, this birth rate is this birth rate increase of the whites is going to go up as well because of the Amish, because of the Mennonites, because of those Church of Latter-day Saints are going to become the majority of America. They're going to become the majority of Americans as well. And yeah, goodbye.